Nothing in your life requires your worry in order to work. Nothing in your life requires you to worry in order for it to work. Some things might require your attention, your care, your consideration. They may require you to take responsibility. But none of them, nothing in this life, in this world, in nature, runs on worry. It is not a necessary component of life. It is, however, a very human byproduct of overthinking. I am very familiar with overthinking and worrying myself, and that is exactly what I hope to tackle with you today. I am coming to you both in video form and in audio form if you are listening on the podcast. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sandra and I am a self-love and sensitivity coach. The reason we worry is that we think it keeps us safe. Worrying and overthinking creates the illusion of control. Well, if I've thought about it, if I've safeguarded myself, nothing can surprise me. And it's very fickle and very convincing in the sense that when nothing happens, your worrying or overthinking mind will be convinced that nothing happened because you already worried about it, that you saw it coming, you planned accordingly, you averted crisis. However, when a worry, shall we say, comes true, which is bound to happen if you worry about everything, you know, even a broken clock is right twice a day, then it gets to say, see, I was right. I was right this time. I told you so. I was right. Where would you be without me? And the thing is that worrying has no impact on the outcome of things. Worrying only impacts our state. It takes us out of the present and into a future where we perceive a threat. It is anticipating something that has not happened yet, something that we are afraid of. And what that does is that it takes you out of the present moment, it takes you into the future. And in life, we are always in the now. It's kind of like our lives is a series of present moments, but the only place we are ever able to navigate from is from this present moment. So by going to the future, by worrying about it in the now, we think we're keeping ourselves safe. That's why we do it. But we don't actually keep ourselves safe. It has no impact. It does not change the course of your life. It just changes your present moment and keeps reinforcing this habit of worry, making it more likely that you will worry more in the future, because that is what you are creating now. It's what is familiar to you, and therefore what you are more likely to experience in the future. Our minds like to take the path of least resistance, and the path of least resistance is the path that is well trodden. So if you are worrying and practicing your worrying, then that's going to be your default. I think it's human nature to occasionally worry, all right? To think about the future. I don't think it's part of a self-loving, of a fulfilling life to constantly worry, especially if you, like I, come from a pretty privileged part of the world where our worries are comparatively few, at least when it comes to things like life or death. Where is my next meal coming from? If you're watching this, you're probably on a computer, right? If you're interested in personal development and you've made it this far, you probably have some resources, some spare capacity. And the number one thing that has helped me loosen my grip on worrying, overthinking, catastrophizing is understanding somewhat logically that it does not keep me safe. It does not keep me safe. The only thing that can really keep me safe is practicing trust, practicing self-love now. What I choose to do now lays my foundation for the future. So if I am worrying now, I am setting myself up for more worry in the future. If there is a thought that sounds like a worry that actually involves an actionable step that you need to take, fine, go take that step. That is like, that's sort of the distinction, I guess, between like worry and responsibility. You know, we're all adults, we all have responsibilities, so of course you're going to think about certain things and sometimes have worrisome thoughts, but there is a difference between that and between ruminating on worst case scenarios, on always defaulting to the worst case scenarios, on always expecting and preparing yourself for the worst. You do it because it's a defense mechanism, you do it because you think it keeps you safe, but I'm telling you right now, it really doesn't. The only thing that it does is it makes you better at worrying. So let's face the worry. What if something terrible happens? What if? The best thing you can do is build a foundation now. You can only build it in the now. Build the foundation now so that whatever life might bring you, I hope it only brings you amazing, wonderful things, but build that foundation so that you know that whatever life brings you, you root yourself in as much self-love and trust as possible. That is the only thing that will actually keep you safe, that will actually make you stronger. Worrying about it doesn't make you, will not mean that you are better equipped mentally to deal with something terrible should it happen. It just means there's like this aspect of you that gets to go, guess I was right. It doesn't make you stronger. It won't make you be able to bounce back quicker. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't affect anything. It doesn't serve any purpose when it becomes rumination. When the worries are playing over and over in your head, there is no purpose to them. If you've taken whatever action you can take, if you've done what's in your control, anything beyond that is just the present moment wasted, the blessings in your life now that are being obscured from you because you cannot see them, you cannot hear them because your mind is filled with worry. And I don't want this for you, I don't want this for me. I've lived this life. It's a waste and a shame. And I don't want you to feel bad about it. I just want this to be your motivation to change, to understand that it really isn't keeping you safe. It's only an illusion. And if something terrible happens, I bet a lot of those of you sitting here have already been through pretty tough things. So think about the things in your life that you've already handled that you thought you couldn't overcome, and realize that you are strong, you are capable. The only way you can future-proof yourself is by building strength, building resilience, building self-love right now. Practicing that over fear and worry. Expand your capacity, expand your joy, expand your human experience. Don't live this constricted, fearful life when there is so much good already for you right here, right now. And don't hit yourself over the head for being stuck in this. If you are stuck in this, it's because you are afraid. There is a part of you that is bracing. There is a part of you that has probably been hurt from something in the past, and that part of you deserves love and grace. But this part of you is exhausted from always being on guard. It wants to drop its weapons. It wants to lay down, but it is constantly pacing back and forth with all the weapons in its itinerary, what's that word? in its arsenal? I'm going too far out of them. This metaphor has gotten out of hand. Let me try a different one. There is a part of you that is bracing, that is on guard, that has its weapons at the ready, and it is begging you to drop your weapons, to just be, to allow yourself to be worry-free, even if you just practice for a moment, even if you just manage in a moment in between moments, that is a win. Every time you catch a worried thought and notice it and decide that you want to do something else, that is a win. You are already doing it. Breaking old patterns aren't gonna happen overnight, but you have to start challenging them today to set yourself up for a more beautiful future, for a different future. And as I said, nothing in this life is guaranteed, but what is guaranteed is if you practice worry now, you will experience more worry in the future. And if you practice self-love and trust now, you will experience self-love and trust in the future, and you will have them to fall back on should life throw you a curveball. Practicing worry doesn't give you any tangible skill, resilience, safety. It just gives you misery. And you do it because you think it keeps you safe. The brain is wired to keep us safe, not to keep us happy. And it does a very good job. Thank you, brain, for caring so much about our safety. But in the modern world, in my privileged part of the world, I do not have to worry about my physical safety. And as I said, that as a privilege, but my mind perceives it as if I do much more than I really have to. And it is a shame. And it is not how I want to live. I would hate to be on my deathbed and think that I let my youth and all the current blessings in my life go by because I was afraid. I don't know why I'm getting so emotional. Even if everything was to be taken from me tomorrow, even if I was to be devastated, I was to be crushed, I would regret not enjoying the blessings while they're there more than I would. I can't find the words. This is really, I'm feeling this very strongly, as you can hear and see. I would just regret living in fear, even if bliss couldn't go on forever, I would still regret living in fear when I was actually in bliss. And I want you to feel this too. I want you to wake up to the beauty and the gifts that are here now that you are missing if you are stuck in this overthinking, worrying, catastrophizing. A happy life is not a life without challenges. I think it's a life where we trust ourselves, where we feel resilient, where we dare to be happy, even though there are a lot of unknowns in the future. We don't know how things end, but we do know how they are right now. And that's really the only place we can navigate from. So that was a very big and quite emotional spiel, more emotional than I actually anticipated, but I guess I should know that about myself by now, that I get emotional sometimes when talking about these things. But now what I really wanted to do is to make this more tangible, right? Like, okay, we're feeling motivated to stop overthinking, to stop worrying and catastrophizing, but like how? So, may I suggest any meditation that brings you into your body, into a feeling of safety, anything related to root chakra, to general safety. I have a link to one. I found this via Katie Clark. I love her videos and her teachings, and she shared this video which is a meditation that particularly uses this phrase to drop your weapons that I really like. I've done this meditation a lot recently, and I have this very vivid image inside my mind when I do it. Wait, this is going to sound weird. I don't know if I'm going to want to put this in there here. Maybe I will. Okay. The thing that I see in my inner eye when I meditate on this, it's kind of like this thing where you have something guarding you, or a part of you that is bracing, a part of you that is on the guard. And for me, what comes to mind every time is something that looks like a little Pokemon dinosaur-y thing. What is the name of that one? Okay guys, I can't find it, and I'm gonna lose my train of thought if I carry down this way. But anyway, I get an image in my head of this Pokemon carrying all this armory when I do this meditation, and it's just hilarious to me. But it is really powerful, and I get a lot of sometimes weird subconscious messaging. I've just started to accept that as part of my consciousness, and the way it communicates to me sometimes via images and songs, and I don't even know. That was just a side note about my personal experience. I really think it's important in meditation to be open to whatever. Like, if you think about a Pokemon, so be it. You can sort of analyze what that might mean later. Just be open to what your mind brings you, and then try and sort and sift through it afterwards. But this meditation, or any meditation that has to do with safety, with root chakra, with nervous system, is super helpful. You can also check out Insight Timer, has so many great meditations. You essentially want to create an environment in your mind, in your body, where it feels safe to not worry, where you drop your weapons, or where your Pokemon drops its weapons, whatever aspect of you can lay down the armory, can stop bracing, can take a nap, you know? Okay, then when it comes to breaking the habit, the first thing you want to practice is noticing when you are overthinking, worrying, catastrophizing, when something is looping, when you are ruminating. Every time you catch it is a win, because that is you practicing becoming the observer of your mind and your thoughts and feelings, not the one that's just like dragged with whatever thoughts and feelings arise, right? So that's already great, but what you kind of want to do is also like jam your stick in there into the very familiar path, the familiar spiral of thoughts. You want to interrupt it. And I have almost finished reading Dr. Joe Dispenza, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. I've done the meditations for that book for like years without having finished the book, but it's good to know the theory behind it now. And he introduces this concept of saying change, literally out loud if you can, or just in your mind if you're, you don't want to be too self-conscious about it if you're with someone else maybe. But when you notice the thought, you just go, change, change, change. And something about it is powerful because it interrupts. It's kind of like, it feels a little bit silly, which I think works to our advantage. And it's literally like, change. Not this, change. I do really recommend those meditations. I have them, I actually just bought them through Audible, which feels random but works. And the first part is usually like a body scan to get you into a meditative state. Then the second part is noticing, becoming really familiar with the thought. The third part is interrupting the thought, is the change. And then the fourth part is introducing what you want instead, more like manifesting, creating a new identity, tapping into new feelings. I do recommend those. You don't need to read the book. I only just finished it. I've been doing it for 2 years, so. And the third and final thing that kind of goes in hand with that, but maybe makes it a little bit more tangible when you don't have time to do a meditation, or you're not really in an appropriate setting for it. Distract yourself. Obviously, I want you to deal with the underlying things as well. I'm not into spiritual bypassing personally. I've been in therapy for years to deal with and understand my own patterns, anxiety, compulsions that have ruled a big chunk of my young adult life. There is a time and a place for that, and I love to deep things, and I think we should all deep things, especially our patterns. However, there's also a time and a place to just redirect our energy, to just distract ourselves. Like sometimes I'm like, oh my God, if I can't trust my own thoughts right now, I'll listen to a podcast that interests me. I'll put on music, dance. I'll do something that shifts the energy, because sometimes we don't have to sit there and wallow in it. We just get to shift the energy because that's what we choose to do. For me, music is super powerful, super helpful. Taking up some sort of task, putting on a podcast, putting on an audiobook, whatever it is, going outside. If you've been ruminating and you've been sitting inside all day, go outside, do something, break the pattern, go get a coffee, go buy yourself, I was going to say a Snickers, go buy yourself whatever makes you happy. Find levity. Overthinking and worry is gonna make you feel like life is so serious, that something terrible is just around the corner. And it's hard to feel that way when you've just had a dance party, or you've just had a sweet treat, or you just shifted your focus. It's just like, create a state that takes it over. Still deal with the underlying thing if it's like a big issue for you. But you also get to just be like, not right now. I'm putting my focus on something else. We are the creators of our worries. Our worries, like if you were not here, your worries would not be here either. The things you worry about, the scenarios you worry about would not exist if you were not here to worry about them. So you are the creator, you are the observer. The power is yours. I know it doesn't feel like it. I know when we have patterns, the brain wants the path of least resistance. I get it. But you do get to choose your focus. Sometimes it's just harder than others. And it's certainly easier said than done. I know that. I do actually think that was what I had to say on this topic today, guys. Thank you so much for being here with me. I just want y'all to worry less. You know, I talk to you in my DMs, in my one-on-one sessions, and just so many amazing, beautiful souls that think a lot and therefore also worry a lot. And you deserve to be free of that. We all do. All right. But yeah, thank you so much for watching or listening, and I hope I'll see you in the next one. Bye.